Hey Shirag, how you doing?
Yeah, it's nice to meet you quickly. It's
Yeah, good to
actually,
see you.
I'm excited to dive into the leaderboard and
Yeah,
wait for
and
everybody
you're
here.
you're fully recovered from the events of this week?
I don't drink, but it's just, I went to last week, Thursday afternoon, I flew out to Nashville. So I was there for a professional football event. Thursday, Friday, flew back Saturday, spent the day out with my kids, unpacked, repacked Sunday, flew out to Denver Monday morning, and it was like I felt like I was there for
Yeah,
10 days. I had a meeting almost every minute of every day,
yeah,
an
yeah.
event.
You were busy.
You guys enjoy it?
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, it was really good. I really enjoyed the speaker. I always forget his name, but the gentleman, from the restaurant, I thought he was fantastic.
Will
Yeah,
Guidara.
it's
Yeah,
look, it just goes to show. So the book that and the speaker he's talking about wrote a book I encourage you all to read called Unreasonable Hospitality. If you could summarize the book in like a few simple sentences, is that throughout our business, especially the one that we all work in, where people are literally buying something that's their most valuable asset, their largest spend, and something that has so much significant and meaning in their life to them, you have the opportunity to enhance their experience through just being more thoughtful, right? So, the example that he uses is he's like, look, we have wine glasses that were in boxes, right? People get engaged in a restaurant. We give them champagne, they toast their wine glasses, and we box them up and give them to people, right? Like that doesn't cost them like an obscene amount of money.
yeah. And Tiffany,
So
Tiffany glasses too. Yeah, it was Tiffany, so it's not just some cheap wine glass. They actually give them Tiffany champagne flutes as a part of it.
if it for them, that became their marketing spend, right? So I can
Yeah,
say for us as a company, I've never spent $1 on marketing. Never. I've never ran an ad, nothing. There's no paid media here, but we believe the best form of marketing is great client experience. So is Nesh here today?
she is going to be late. She
Nesh?
was at a physical therapy appointment.
James, you want to pull up the leaderboard and share it with everybody?
I don't have that. That would be, no, sorry, I thought Dash would have given it to you. I don't have it. Cameron,
Armand, you have it?
Cameron or Joe, if you're on, do you know how to pull it up?
Let me look. Let me circle back.
Let me see when she's going to be here.
I mean, I could pull it up. Everyone has the same one, right?
Yep. Or you could drop the link in the chat. Ian Moore, I'm digging your fresh fade over there. I see you. All right, look, so there are two things that I want to go through today. One is part 1A and 1B is like the leaderboard. Then I want to introduce you guys all to the 5 for 5 and something I expect you all to incorporate into your business. And then just really hearing from a couple people who are on top of the leaderboard, what they're doing. I can tell you this, there was one gentleman, I cannot remember his name off the top of my head, my apologies, that literally just crushed it last week as soon as we got off the call. He had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of points. All right, so without further ado, let's share our leaderboard.
Rob, can you clarify the agent contacts made? Because I thought we said if we're doing like a newsletter, that doesn't count.
Newsletters don't count. Like it just count. You can count that as one contact. Mark Chamberlain, that's who it was. All right, so we have Risha here at 6,862, Mark at 4,490, Diana at 3,740. Dan at 438. Dan, what the hell, dude? If you look at this, these people's businesses will grow for one simple fact. If you look at all these activities, one, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. 20, 29, 30. There's more than 40 people here who've done absolutely nothing. Do I think you do absolutely nothing every day? No. But there's a saying in life, how you do the small things is how you do the big things, right? So if you can't do something so simple as measure your activities and just put what you do in a board daily, I guarantee your habits, your schedule, your consistency and follow through and what you do is not where you want it to be. So we all don't need more belief in ourselves. We need a new story to tell ourselves, right? That I'm organized, I'm productive, I track my activities so that I know where I need to improve, right? Look, sales is a simple game. How do I have the most meaningful conversations and contacts with people to build the most relationships? The more people you get into that top of funnel, the more sales and productivity you're going to have. So anyone want to share with me a roadblock and actually just entering their information in every day?
Mine is on.
So I know you guys. What's that?
I'm Google Doc challenged. I've been working with Nesh behind the scenes.
Okay, so your numbers are not what I think they are.
Right.
Look, in the end, if you don't know how to do something, you can YouTube it. Right? So here's a couple of things I want you guys to think about. The goal of this contest for all of you is productivity. Like that's it. Like we wired a contest for you all to collaborate / compete with each other. So rising tide raises all ships, right? But in the end, Joe and Kamran will be calling you if you're not doing anything and asking like, what's going on? Because look, our commitment here and from your leadership is that you guys build massive momentum into the third and fourth quarters of the year. Like these relationships are not going to happen by accident. You want to be planned and purposeful in what you do, right? So, I met all these athletes, all 70 retired NFL players, top performers in their field, a hockey player, several baseball players, and I work with top performing entrepreneurs and agents and lenders. And it's interesting when you look at the habits of these people and the habits that many of us have, right? They will tell you they win on three things: having a plan, being disciplined, and being consistent, right? Discipline, like that's it. Discipline is doing what you said you're going to do. And in my mind, consistency is doing it regardless of how you feel. Right. So I'm going to introduce you to what I call the 5 for 5. And so I have an agent. He's in the Boca Raton market. He started at 350,000. He does over in commissions, and now he does over 2.5 million. Goes on probably 10 cruises with his family a year, as well as sits and has dinner with his wife and kids every day. Now, what does he do? Is Aaron Buckbinder some whiz kid with something special? No, but he's one of the most consistent person at doing simple things. He contacts 5 people he knows every day. He talks to 3 agents every day, and he sends 2 handwritten notes. So we're going to make this 5-5-2. Now, 5, you need to contact 5 agents every single day. 5 days a week. That's 25 contacts a week, 100 contacts a month. And if you did it 10 months out of the year, you talk to 1,000 agents, or you have 1,000 conversations at a 1% conversion rate. That's like the same as an agent sending random mail to strangers. That's 10 more deals. Does anyone want 10 more deals? Everyone should raise their hand, right? But we need to just take that action. How long does it call? How long does it take to call 5 agents a day? They don't want to be on the phone forever, but they'll talk to you, right? An hour, 90 minutes at most. Now, the next question is, what am I going to say? Hey, this is Kamran from Origin Point. How are you going? I'm doing well, blah, 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 blah. And then, get past the pleasantries. You can say, look, the reason that I called you is based on your unique business. We have a variety of different things that we can support agents with. Like, what's something I could help you with in your business, whether it's today or tomorrow? And that's it. And if they say nothing right now, it's good. Be like, all right, cool, man. I just wanted to personally reach out and see if there's anything I can do to be helpful. Dude, appreciate you taking my call. Done. Right? All of those 25 people are great people to send notes to, right? If you had 2 meaningful conversations every day, take out the pen and paper and just say, hey, Kamran, it was great connecting with you, learning more about your family, whatever it is. They'll tell you something, right? When I meet people at networking events, I hate networking events. Right? People think I'm a good speaker and stuff like I like it. No, but I found something that works for me. I'm like, hey, I meet somebody I haven't seen in a while or new. I just like to ask what's new in your life and what's most exciting. And people like talking about new things that are most exciting, right? So if you call an agent says, how can I support you in your business? And that's the only thing you talk about, that's going to create an impression. So when you think about your brand as a loan officer, it is how people experience you. Those are the emails you send, the texts you send, the cards, the lunches, the dinners, the invite, whatever it is. But we need to be really thoughtful that, what our brand is and what we want it to be isn't like this in our actions. It's like this and it forms a perpendicular line. So out of those 5 conversations, I don't want you to call people. I want you to have 5 conversations. Now, the next thing I want you to do is set up 5 coffee meetings a week. 25 coffee meetings a month times 10 months. It's 250 agents that you got in front of. Is that going to help or hurt your business? It's going to help your business, right? So if you look at this now, if we follow the 5-5-2 model, right? We'll have done 25 agent conversations, 5 agent meetings, and we've sent out 10 handwritten notes. So this compounds, right? Those 10 handwritten notes equal 400 in a year, 250 agent meetings, 1,000 different conversations. How will your life and business look dramatically different? How will it not? And I don't know how much simpler, James, Kamran, Joe, is this complicated for anybody?
Super simple.
Do you know what it requires? Discipline and consistency. That's it. Mary, you have a question? All right, before we go any further, who has questions? All right, here's my next question. Who wants to share one thing that has worked for them well to connect with an agent in the last week? Okay, going once. Dan.
I will. Just because I just came back from the Compass retreat. So that was a great opportunity for me to make a lot of connections, reconnect with people I'd met at Charleston, and then solidify my local agents here and introducing them to people I had met previously.
Yep. So what worked in those conversations? Like, how was it helpful?
I was able to invite local agents to come out with us and the things that we were doing, because not everybody, there's so much stuff that goes on. So not everybody knows everything. And they were just very appreciative to have been included. You know, it might have been their first retreat. They didn't know, how it worked. And again, just because of the different people we had the opportunity to meet, whether it was from pickleball and being part of the Compass Cares to, as you see people day in and day out, and being able to include them, they felt important.
Human connection. You're not just you're humanifying yourself, and you're not just being a lender. Like, we don't want to be known as lenders. Your name is Mary Kruger, right? You're a person. You're a great person, and you need people to get to know you. So I think that's great. Now, here's my task for you. I would hop every single person that I have in my phone as a contact. Do you have an iPhone? I don't care if you like this, you don't like this, if you're bad at doing it. In reality, like, the worse you are at doing this, it kind of works better because it's more authentic. I would literally just go into their text message, hit the plus button, hit the video button, and I would send each one of them a personalized video. Hey, it was great connecting with the Compass Compass retreat and sharing the experience of blank. If I can support your goals in any way, please let me know, and I hope you have a great weekend. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It is so much harder to reject a human than it is an electronic communication. Dan, what do you got for us? Thank you, Mary.
Two things. One, I want to go back a step. When everybody's making 5 calls a day, where are they tracking that? How are they keeping track of who they've called, what they've talked about? Just from the organization standpoint.
Alex?
I simply open up my iPhone and notes and I mirror the Excel spreadsheets, contacts made, who'd I talk to, leads, new apps. And I have what's called bookends throughout the day. So I have a morning ritual, I have a pre-work ritual, I have a pre-lead ritual, I have a nightly ritual. So that way I'm trying to do the best I can as it's coming in to put in my iPhone. And then if I miss anything, I just review it at the end of the day. It's the simplest way to do it.
Okay. Going back to connecting with an agent, we had a success story on a buy before you sell. So I sent an email to the agents, the managers of the office, CC'd Kamran and CC'd the agent who was the referring agent. And so they could get praise from management. Thanks Kamran, they got praise from Kamran. And this is an agent that will now share that success story throughout the office. She's definitely that type of agent that wants to share a story.
Yep. So I encourage all of you to get this thing called a Plod Note, right? Let me just get the link and drop it in here.
Hey, Shirag, while you're doing that, I was just going to share, and I don't know if this is a win for everybody. If you can save it for next retreat or the next get together, big sales meeting, whatever. But when I was running around in Denver, I know that a lot of them are there for referrals, right? So I was always asking which markets they feed to or who they know or whatever, and trying to find common ground of agents they know in certain markets. And I was like, oh, cool, you know, so-and-so, let's take a picture and send it to them. So we take a picture and then I have a text. I have their phone number all of a sudden, and I have like a text chain that I can build on from there. So I took that and was follow-up texting, great to meet you and all that stuff, and trying to, you know, further connect with them. Because a lot of those agents, the big agents, were the ones that, just being honest, don't call us back, right? And so now I had a little base to connect with them on, and a funny photo, and some commonality that I found with another agent that they knew. So already been setting up meetings for other, you know, for our loan officers on the team just based on that.
Look, that goes into the concept of being of value, right? Look, there's so many different things that you can do as a lender that has unique access for people, right? Like access to buyers, access to hop into people's collections for their VIP buyers and put like mortgage prices and quotes in. You have unique programs that no one knows anything about. I literally had a coach on my team they're getting divorced. They need to sell their house to get another one, but his wife needs to go somewhere else, and they're connecting with a local Origin Point person to do buy before you sell. I told 100 different people about the stated self-employed program up to $5 million, right? With bank statements that have a sub 7% interest rate. It's not like 8.5, 9, and it used to be for stated loans, right? Not stated bank statements. But no one knows this stuff is out there, right? So our job is not to educate people on what we have to offer. It's being creative and understanding through storytelling how they could use it to grow their business. So you're planting an idea in their brain that can then grow. Who else has a win or a good little hack on connecting with agents? Paul.
Hold on,
You
did
gotta
you just
unmute
call me?
yourself. Yeah, didn't you just raise your
Yeah,
hand?
yeah, well, no, if I did raise my hand, I didn't mean to, but anyway, I'm not officially part of the contest because I'm not going after the Compass agents, but I will say that what I did is I got access to the MLS, went in there, and this is not my idea. I took it from someone else, but for all the contingent offers. So all the offers that are contingent, then I call the listing agent and say, hi, you know, my name's Paul. And is your property contingent? I guess the buyer has to sell another house, and yeah. Oh, will we help remove those contingencies? Would it be all right with you if I reach out to the buyer's agent and see if I can help remove that contingency for you? And everybody is really open. Everybody, wanted an email with my contact information. And on my list of things to do today is to go back and then check that listing, see who the title company is, and just call the title company and ask them, well, who is the agent representing the buyer? And then reach out to the buyer's agent and do the same kind of a thing. Just introduce myself and offer to be of service.
So now thank you. Now to the Compass world, right? Every single person that has a private exclusive is an opportunity for buy before you sell. All of them. Does anyone want to call script? Yes. Well, let me ask somebody. If you were to call me, what would you say? Let's start there.
Well, you already know everything I was going to say as far as the
Say it anyway.
programs go. No, I mean, I just think
I have a private exclusive. I never talked to you in my life.
the first thing I would ask then is if they would need any marketing materials while it's, not active, because we have a way now that we can do that. We can build some rate sheets from our platform, even though it's not active in MLS.
So, in journalism, there's this saying, don't bury the lead, right? So what I find is in our mind, if we don't want to sound salesy or we're afraid of rejection, we kind of just start like giving a little bit of stuff. We overcompensate, we overcomplicate. And then like somewhere in the middle end of the call, you tell them the thing you really want to tell them, right? And that is a mindset shift. So I would call you up, Mary, and say, hey, Mary, I saw your private exclusive. How are you? Great. Like a couple things, if you have 5 minutes, and they're going to say, sure. Or they're going to say, what do you want? I'm going to say, look, one, I'm going to send this out to any buyer that's been pre-approved by me as an off-market listing. By the way, all of you, I don't know how data filters work, but if any of your buyers are in your database, whether they're with only Compass agents or non-Compass agents, calling a realtor up and saying, I would obviously first check to see if you had like at least like 3, 4, 5, 10 different people over time being pre-approved. Like, hey, so your private exclusive, we have 10 different buyers that are pre-approved for this price point. Is it okay if I send them your listing? Who's going to say no to that? Right? Then the second thing is, this may or may not be helpful. So either way, it's okay. Would it help your client if they're able to find a new home and then be able to sell their home without all the stress and having to do both at once? And like, they're going to say, what do you mean? Create curiosity, intrigue, and engage. But you want to get right to it, right? Being a value, you can send it out to your buyers. How many people have lots of pre-approved people in their database that have not bought a home? Fair amount of us. And some of you will nod your head and some of you will not raise your hand no matter what I say. And that's all good too, right? So what you want to do is start thinking about this in strategy, right? I have to contact 5 people a day. That's my commitment. Let me go get the whole private exclusive list and I can reach out to those people, right? And it might not be for their seller today, but it gives you an opportunity to be of value. And you just quickly share without getting into all the details. Let's say, yeah, it's called buy before you sell. It gives them an opportunity to get pre-approved. They don't count any of the DTI from their existing home. They could purchase a home, they sell their home in 90 days. And they can actually close and move. And what makes it even really interesting is then they could probably do all the things you're suggesting to get the highest sales price and the best outcome. If somebody's moving locally, have you ever met anyone that would not prefer to buy their next home and do 2 closings at once? Not me. You're literally isolating the decision down to like 3 to, I would say 4 at most monthly mortgage payments of a difference. Their payments $5,000, especially a lot of these people have 3% interest rates. If you have money, who wouldn't spend $20,000 to avoid all that stress? Then there's the thing of buy downs, right? That's another contact point, right? I was talking to James A 3-2-1 buy down on a $1 million property is $40,000, right? So if you see properties that have price drops or properties that have been on the market a really long time, you give them a call and says, hey, it's Shrug with Origin Point. How are you? I'm doing great. I saw your listing as I was looking on the internet the other day on 123 Main Street. I have a creative idea that might help you get more buyers. Would you be open to hearing about it? Yeah, sure. Well, we've noticed with some of our other clients and listings, some at Compass or like just in general, I would say that buy downs work better than price reductions as an incentive, right? So instead of dropping the price, offer an incentive to protect the value. Are you familiar how that works? No. Let me know if you want to grab coffee, or I could hop on a Zoom with you, or I could share with you on the phone, whatever works best for you.
I'm huge on buy
There's
downs.
another.
Love them.
What?
I'm huge on buy
I do
downs.
too.
I love them. I learned how to do them from my dad back in 2006 or 7 or 8, whenever the sky was falling back then. And I was like, Dad, we are screwed, right? He goes, no, no, no. Let me show you something. And back then I learned how to do it with like, bare bones Microsoft Excel. And now we got my Mortgage Coach. We've got all our other little tools, and it's a lot easier to educate. That's like the first battle. But then when you send in an offer and you want to telepath your message to the seller, go beyond the agents, because their first question they're gonna ask is, well, what if it doesn't appraise, or what if this, or what if that? And you got to have those answers on deck. And if you do, it's a piece of cake. And in the last 18 months, I've written more loans in the 5s than in the 7s because of it. So I don't have a lot of refi opportunities today.
Yeah. So look, I think for all of us, right, we need to get into action and tracking, right? When something is measured, something can grow. You have to measure what matters for your business. But if you have no metrics and measurements, like now you have a goal to look through each one of your days, right? Like at minimum, 1 coffee meeting, 5 conversations, 2 handwritten notes. Like that's the most, just think about this. It is the most important part of your job because you are providing an income for your future self. There's a guy or a gal 3 to 6 months from now. It's like, please do something today, Brett. Please do something, Mark. Please do something, Shrug. Please do something, Mary, Lori, so that we have income 3 months from now. Right? If you've ever seen your business go like this, it's really simple. It's not like a complicated cure. You're probably not prospecting every day consistently. Brian Tracy had a book called Eat That Frog. Pretty much it's like do your most difficult thing you don't want to do that has the most impact first. You guys all get to go to Compass offices. You can all pull any kind of data. Look at private exclusives, stale listings. But this is your moment right now. Because over the next, 7 weeks, 6 weeks at this point, you're going to have an opportunity to fill up your entire pipeline for the second half of the year so that you could finish the year and be happy. Take the time off without guilt, have some significant cash flow for yourself this year and next year, and have a simple system that works, right? I know that the most successful clients I do the most basic, simple stuff with repetitious boredom every day. If they do that one little thing that they don't feel like doing, it's going to give them the opportunity to do all the things that they do feel like doing, because something has to fund those things for ourselves.
Hey,
All right, so now I'm going to open it up. Go ahead, Turner.
do you mind if I jump in? Kamran asked me to mention my buy down on the buy down topic real quick. I'm going to backtrack if that's okay.
Anything you want, man.
Do you mind if I share my screen real quick?
Even better. You got something cool to share.
I don't know if it's that cool, but we'll see. So I presented on this. Let me just get this over where I can see. I presented on this at the most recent sales meeting and talked about, the idea of marketing like a builder. I gave a couple of stats about Lennar and some of the others that have increased sales, even with the headwinds we've seen. I'm trying to add as many of my realtors on the co-marketing platform on Rack as I possibly can so that I can do this. So this is this is just any old financing solution. This would go at an open house or just sit at the listing co-marketed with my agent, and it's just standard financing options. I usually go to about 98.75, about a point ish on the pricing, so that I'm showing a good aggressive rate. Obviously, this one does not look good. I'm not sure why that's at 8% with mortgage insurance, but let's just disregard that. Point of this whole thing is rather than, and I showed the example, I put it into Mortgage Coach. I showed what $50,000 would do to take off on the payment. It was about $300. And I gave an example of a house that was listed at 1.5 and sold for 1.375. So they lost $125,000 on what they wanted to do. And I just showed them what, this is, at 1.5, your seller wants the buyer to take a $8,000 payment, $8,300 payment. And at 1.45, the seller is trying to have a buyer to take a $8,100 payment, $250 less. If you were to provide, and this is what I think is the cool piece, now that I've got them in my system, I've got special financing offer available. Seller will pay $50,000 for rate buy down. And what I did was I picked up, the seller is only giving up, what is that, 4% on the price. And again, they lost $75,000 more than this. And this showed that, with a 5-year ARM, I can get them down to, 30-year fixed, I can get them down to 5.625, a 7-year ARM 5.25. And the day before I did this, it was 4.99 on the 5-year ARM. And so I printed this out for him, and he sent it out to like 3,000 agents in our market. And a couple of agents asked me to create this for them that weren't Compass agents. But just this one flyer got me quite a bit of interest, and probably 10 more people to sign up on my co-marketing so they could have that available. Once they're signed up, it's really easy to create this. Does anybody have any questions on that for me? Sorry for jumping in. It's Conrod's fault.
This is the best part about leveraging a group, right? If everyone shares stuff like this, rising tide, as we say, raises all ships.
Turner, great timing. Right after this call, I was going to try to find out if I could find some marketing that would pitch this for me. I think this is huge, huge, huge. That's all I've been talking about.
I'll share my Mortgage Coach real quick if you guys want to hear the rest of the kind of the way the pitch went. Is that interesting or?
Yeah.
Okay. So 2 seconds. Okay. So this is a real story in my market. And I presented this Mortgage Coach, and I had a slide before it that was talking about again, Lennar and how builders are selling it. In my market, if you go out towards the burbs, you see signs that just say 3.99 or 4.99 everywhere you look, and they're offering 10-point rate buy downs. I've been a builder lender for a while, and I've been on panels. I've heard them say very specifically, they're paying 10 points to get these homes sold. And they're selling them, right? They're creating affordability, and price does not change that. So this was a real scenario that went from this as a list to this is what actually happened. So the seller listed for 1.5 million. It sat for 40 days. Nothing happened. They reduced it by 50K. In my market, again, when a property has a 50K price reduction and then sits for a week, the next offer is going to be something like another $50,000 off. They're not about to get that all of a sudden. They're not about to get $50,000 all of a sudden. They're going to get another lower offer. And what that offer ended up being was 1.375. And 50 days later, they eventually said yes and closed at that price. And my point to the listing agent is if you're out there telling your seller when they're not getting any listings, they're not getting any showings, they can't buy a showing, they're staged, they're paying for staging, and nothing's happening, and the selling agent is saying, a listing agent saying, I'm doing everything I possibly can for you, but they haven't brought this scenario and this spreadsheet over to their seller to explain the difference. They really aren't doing everything for their seller. And putting it that way, I got a lot of people to kind of acknowledge that it might be prudent to have at least addressed this option. And how do they address this option? They call me, I prepare a Mortgage Coach, and then I prepare them a flyer but you guys can see what this does. I mean, this was what the seller wanted a buyer to take: 25% down, 8250, 675 rate, 400,000. Then they wanted them to take this deal. Now it's saving you $50,000, and they want you to pay $8,000, same cash to close, all that stuff. So what did they save? $243. If sellers takes a 50K haircut, buyer saves $243. If they do it my way, we now have saved them almost a full $1,000 in cash to close and in payment. And that is a real number, in my opinion. And then you can see it's, in my story that I told, look what $125,000 did for the buyer. Almost $300 higher payment. It still had a $300 higher payment. So they saved some money on the price, but the payment is still higher. So this went really well for me in the sales meeting, presenting this. I'm happy to share the slides I presented if anybody cares to see them. Ping me after, but I'll get off your airwaves, Rob.
Well, this is all good. Thank you for sharing this and being open to collaborate with everybody. So look, here's what I want you to do. Number one, I need there to be no blank scores by the next time we meet. Number two, like, your name's on that list, man. Show everyone how great you are. Number three, 5 for 5, 5, 5, 2. Let's write those numbers down. 5 calls, 5 coffee meetings, 2 handwritten notes. That's it. Right now, take this time, if anyone else doesn't have any questions, and be productive. Don't take the 25 minutes we ended early and just go back to your email, your text messages, like that is just busy work, right? Not that it's important, but you need to be able to meet and connect and build and maintain and grow relationships. It's the single most important thing you can do. Does anyone else have any other questions?
I have a good win.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. I had the luxury of going on a private exclusive lakefront tour in Tahoe, which didn't stink. Everything 7 million to 18 million. Rode with a Compass agent and a new hire for Compass. We got to ride around with them for a couple hours. Went to the $18 million home, which is the Blair team, which is one of the biggest producing Compass teams in North America, I believe. And I was talking to Nicole, and she asked me how business was going, gave her a little spiel, talking about everything, and told her about the loan program I'm doing right now, which is 12-month business bank statements, and I'm doing a 40-year interest only on it. And her eyes lit up, and she's like, "What?" I'm like, "Well, obviously you're not reading my emails I send you, but it's okay. I'll send you a new one." And then her office manager called me, texted me like 20 minutes later. She's like, "Hey, send us some stuff." And then I'm joining their meeting next Friday to talk about some of the programs. So pretty successful.
Got to get after it, right? And make sure when you meet everybody, you're very clear in your next step and how you're going to follow up with every single person in the meeting. A handwritten note's a good idea.
Hey, Chirag, it's
All right,
Michael
everybody.
Waldman. My biggest problem that I'm having is converting it to a meeting. I'm getting the brush off. We have somebody, it's a busy time right now and need some objections to get them to the table.
There's not objections. You need to create enough value in the eyes of somebody where they actually want to take the time to meet with you because it feels like for them that you're going to help them reach their goals. That's all that is. If I call you up, "Hey, Chirag, I'm a lender with Origin Point. We have some really interesting programs and stuff. Would love to get together with you." They're going to hang up the phone. Right? The other one that you could just tell people, it's like, "Hey, we've seen a lot of success recently with your colleagues around the country, and they're using something that most people don't think of. Is it all right if I share it with you?" And then talk about either the bank statement program or buy before you sell. But I just want to share those with you. It may or may not be helpful with your clients, and either way, it's good. But I just want a person to reach out. That was it. And depending on the conversation, how intrigued they are, if it's good and you be of value, they'll call you, or they'll text you, or they'll email you.
Thanks.
Anybody else?
I do have one that it's kind of off the topic of seller buy downs, but I realized when I raised my hand earlier, my mic was muted. But I took your postcard idea from a couple weeks back, Shirag, and I chat GPT'd up a killer presentation with private exclusives. Now, I'm in Louisiana where Compass just came in, and I have like 20 offices all to myself. So I was like, how am I going to do this? So I recorded one presentation that was about 10 minutes with a Loom. And then I took all 20 different other offices and I just made little snippets, like 10, 15 seconds, like, hey, Susie in whatever town. I put them together. And then I all of a sudden, within like an hour or 2 hours, I had 20 different presentations to just, you know, go out and do instead of 10-minute presentations. And the response was great. I mean, out of the 20, I got 10 instant responses. Thank you. Like, can you tell me more? Let's talk. And yeah, I mean, it was killer. So like, I guess thanks for sharing that idea. It was really easy to just tee up private exclusives with the buy before sell. And I even put a spin on it. I made it like buy, sell, smile. And they seem to like that too.
Nice. See, guys, activity equals output. Most important thing. So you guys have a handful of great ideas. You have a clear direction on where to go. And I'm excited to hear about your success and next move. So I hope everyone has a great weekend. Take the next 20 minutes, contact somebody. And for everyone that has a donut on the leaderboard, your goal today is to do something to get points and get yourself out of the red. James,
So everybody, and for those that aren't on the call, for you know, your colleagues, please encourage them to get on these calls. Please encourage them to go to the resource center and watch the calls. I think we all continue to be a little disappointed by the attendance. So thank you all for being a part of this, taking it seriously and attending the calls. Really appreciate it.
Yep, and those that do something, get something. So love in my heart. I love you all. Happy Friday, and we'll see you all soon. Bye, everybody.
See you later. Bye.